This is the process shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen Five Deadly Venoms, a martial arts action film from Hong Kong directed by Chang Cheh back in 1978. It follows a student within a clan of expert fighters who, per the wishes of his dying master, must track down five previous students who have used their skills for evil. Fearful that they might find a colleague who knows where the clan's fortune has been secretly stashed. He manages to find them, all living in the same city, but two of the five have found and killed the master's colleague, though they are witnessed and brought to trial. Undeterred, the two have a plan to frame one of their own fellow pupils as the culprit, pushing everybody into a fight between greed and justice, good and evil. It's really not too complicated. There really isn't too much to the story in general, or at least not in the way of anything that branches out from what the five former students do. Even the sixth and final student's search is more of a framing device to introduce these characters one by one, showcasing the five different fighting styles which make up the film's name. The story does only feature these fighting styles sparingly, with more than enough time spent on pulling the story along, but even so, the actual characters are left relatively underdeveloped and built more around their motivations and goals than actual personalities. Again, at the end of the day, it's a story of good versus evil, so anything more complex would just distract from that. The details of the trial are a bit drawn out though, cutting through methodical events that keep the story moving, but only seem to just do that. It's only occasionally that a fight scene occurs, though most of the time it's more like a moment of action rather than a fully choreographed spar. They're certainly helpful in illustrating the power and skill of the five Venoms, but they're still only snippets of the full potential that could be unleashed, and the rest of the time we have to wait through the story. At least it feels like waiting. Thankfully, we do get some complete fight scenes, and they are where the film really exceeds. Plenty of time is dedicated to making sure the choreography is given a great amount of presence on screen, not to mention making the most of the different fighting styles and how they work with or against each other. Moves are quick and highly structured, but loose enough that they do feel somewhat spontaneous, thanks in part to the larger set pieces which are used and abused in these fights, adding a layer of realism by giving this world substance rather than reusing locations for the sake of having something to look at in the background. Cinematography in general helps keep things dynamic, even in the less exciting story scenes where the idea is more towards keeping an eye on characters within larger crowds. Editing is pretty much used practically through all the film, with the greater purpose of just making sure that everything going on doesn't jump around too hastily. Like other martial arts films, the sound design exaggerates every punch and kick to make sure you know they've made contact, and the absolute flurry of noises that results adds to the quick pacing of the action and the speed of characters. Ultimately, it takes a while to get to these fight scenes, but they are certainly worth the wait, especially since most signs point to the movie only existing for the sake of these fights. Not that that's a bad idea, of course. Five Deadly Venoms, Chang Cheh, 1978. 3.5 stars. I definitely recommend seeing it. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. I wish I could get more of these martial arts movies here. Sometimes you just want to kick back and watch a bunch of people hitting each other with precise and coordinated strikes.